On tonight's show, we talk about domestic violence in the NFL and around the world. We talk about Pixels, the movie starring Sandler, James, and Emma Stone, and a game of Would You Rather with yours truly, coming up next on The William Barron Show right now.
This place about to blow.
And welcome to the William Barron Show. This first segment is brought to you by BingeClock.com. Did you know that it takes 2.6 days of couch time to get through Breaking Bad? The BingeClock.com is a handy web tool that tells you how long it takes to watch every episode of every TV show that you can think of with or without commercials. That's BingeClock.com. Interesting concept right there. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today it's just going to be me. We have had a bit of, drama, turmoil, illness in the Barron household this week, so we've had to kind of push it off. But I'm sure that Joe and Emma will be joining me next week as Danielle will be on a family vacation. Our first topic it's actually kind of hot in the news with the NFL, and we were asked by Wen Dizzle on Facebook if we found domestic violence funny. And with everything going on, with the Bears signing that one defensive lineman that was allegedly beat his girlfriend, and then the James Hardy situation where the middle linebacker, he actually was convicted, and then he settled out of court to get that off of his record. And with the Hardy situation as it goes, it was like a nightly thing. They interviewed neighbors and friends of the girlfriend, and it was a regular occurrence for Hardy to push her around. So, in the particular night in question, he had thrown her onto a couch that was full of guns and held his hand over her throat and threatened to kill her. And she was so scared. I mean, we're not talking about, a small guy. We're talking about a 6'3", 250-pound guy that is conditioned and, lifts weights and takes steroids more than likely, allegedly, with his hand around your throat. And she was so scared, she told him to do it. Like, that's frightening. So in order to answer your question, Wen Dizzle, no, I don't find domestic violence funny. And furthermore, in certain things, it kind of brings the question, if you could take something back, would you? If there's one person in this world who hasn't done anything that they would take back in a second, I'm going to call them a liar, and I don't want to talk to you because you're a horrible human being if you say that you haven't. And Wen Dizzle, I looked at your profile page, you're like 50, so I'm sure that you've made a few mistakes in your life as well. So I don't think that it's very smart to just jump to judgment on somebody based upon one of their actions. I think it's incredibly immature, and I think it's incredibly short-sighted to judge somebody in their whole life based upon one action. So I don't find domestic violence funny, really, at all, to answer your question. And if anybody else wants to weigh in, feel free to find us on Facebook, just like Wen Dizzle did, and let us know. That's really all I have to say about it. For those of you that have been watching television, or watching movies, I guess, for that matter, my daughter and my son are in love with the movie Wreck-It Ralph, and I'll be completely honest, I'm in love with Wreck-It Ralph. It might be one of my favorite all-time movies, as anybody who listens to this show regularly probably already knows. It is fantastically written. The graphics they're great. The voice acting between Sarah Silverman and I can never remember that guy's name. Ralph. I can't ever remember his name. If Joe was here, he would. But it was basically a cartoon based upon the video games. Excuse me, the video games that I grew up on, and it was done brilliantly. Now, there's this new movie called Pixels. If you haven't seen the preview for it, you can YouTube it. And it's got Emma Stone in it, which is nice. She's a beautiful woman. But then they went and added Adam Sandler and Kevin James to the mix. So the theory of the movie is that in the 80s, they sent out a drone into the out into the outer space, and we're hoping to find, life form in some way, shape, or form. And what happened was all of their video games were sent back to attack Earth. So I'm talking Pac-Man going down the street, chewing up fire trucks, and it's an interesting concept. I'm gonna have to go see it just because of all the video games that it references that I grew up on. I can't wait for a little pixelated Mike Tyson to show up in the movie. If they didn't buy the rights to be able to do that, I'm going to be disappointed. I have to go see it. But that being said, I really want Adam Sandler and Kevin James to stop making movies, like individually or together. And it's America. I'm happy that Sandler has been afforded the opportunity to run his own production company and he can make whatever movies he wants. I would love to be in that situation too. But Adam Sandler and Kevin James, if anybody agrees with me, hit me up, because it's brutal. And when you add the two of them together, and don't get me wrong, Sandler used to be really good. I used to love Adam Sandler. And I don't know where he went off. I don't know if he fired the wrong writer. And Kevin James is phenomenal and continues to be phenomenal in syndication with The King of Queens. His stand-up is great. But his acting, like his movies, his movie choices, his films are just... So this is going to be absolutely terrible. TheEnclosed.com. Now, this website offers beautiful lingerie that, to make it discreet, it's an upscale panty of the month gift-giving service targeted at men that want to give their loved ones some beautiful lingerie. And I think the biggest thing with guys buying stuff for their ladies, or ladies buying stuff for their ladies, it at least for a guy, I guess it wouldn't be uncomfortable for a girl to go into like a Victoria's Secrets and buy her girlfriend something, because she's a girl, so they're just going to assume she's buying it for it. I don't know why, but it's always been a really socially uncomfortable situation, at least for myself. Maybe I'm speaking alone. I do know guys that are like, hell yeah, I like going in there. It says that I got this beautiful girl and I'm going to buy her beautiful things, but especially for me, it's just an uncomfortable situation. TheEnclosed.com. It'll hook you up. You can check them out. You can buy them. They'll be shipped to your house. You can wrap them. You can take care of your lady friend and not have to go to the mall. And I think that's great. Of course, TheEnclosed.com is available 24 hours a day. Make sure to check them out. It is time for Would You Rather. Okay, this is it's kind of a cool little Twitter thing going on right now where everybody it's a Twitter battle. It's not like, I don't really see it too much on Facebook, or definitely not Instagram, but where people are starting to just send out like random would you rather this or that. And we did this last week on the show, and it was a lot of fun, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it solo. Would you rather watch South Park or Family Guy? Family Guy, hands down. South Park, I have never understood the humor. I don't get it. The poor animation, the writing, it's really not for me. Jennifer Lawrence or Mila Kunis? Mila Kunis, without a doubt. She's gorgeous. So is Jennifer, but Mila Kunis. Would you rather have the ability to see the future or have the ability to read minds? God. I don't know if I'm actually really sure that I would not want to read minds. I think that being able to read somebody's mind is incredibly scary for me. I would definitely rather see in the future, because it's bad enough what people say, and that's with a filter of some sort. You always know that drunk person that doesn't have a filter. Well, imagine that all the time. Like, you would just be reading people's like innermost thoughts that scares the hell out of me. So yeah, I'd rather see into the future. Live with no electronics or live with no friends. Well, do my friends get electronics? Because if they get electronics, I guess I'll choose electronics because I'll just talk to them through that. But then I guess it wouldn't be my friend. I would have to say live with no electronics. I wouldn't want to be alone. That would really suck. Coca-Cola or Sprite? That's an obvious Coca-Cola. Waffles or pancakes? Waffles. Have your dream car or free gas for 25 years? I would have to say my dream car, because I would imagine that my dream car is more expensive than free gas for 25 years. My Dodge Caliber does not guzzle gas, so I don't really spend a lot of money on gas. Plus, I don't really drive anywhere, but if I did, I'd want to drive in style. So yeah, I'll go with the dream car. Batman or Superman? Batman. Duh. Vacation on the beach or vacation in the mountains? You know, I've kind of changed my preference on this. Danielle is a beach bunny, and like I said, she's going to the beach, and I would have to say beach. I'd have to say beach. I do like getting a tan. I do like laying out. I do like the sound of the ocean. But before, I would have without a doubt said mountains. Grab your acoustic guitar, build a fire, be out in the clean, crisp mountain air. You know, that's who I think I used to be. But I'd say beach for right now. Vine or Instagram? I've never caught on to Vine. Never really understood it. So I guess I'd go Instagram. Meet your favorite singer or meet your favorite athlete? I'm going to say athlete. I'd have to say athlete, and I don't even know which athlete that would be. I would say Tom Brady. But, you know, I mean, I've met enough of my favorite singers and enough of my favorite athletes, and I don't recall ever meeting one of them that was not a complete asshole. I met Johnny Resnick, the lead singer of the Goo Goo Dolls, after a concert, and he just, I mean, I'm not judging because I'm sure doing this every night would get to be a pain, but he just seemed like he just scribbled on my shirt, and yeah, I didn't really care for that. He seemed like he had better things to do. Roger Clemens, when I met him, he told me to leave him alone. Straight up, just looked at me and said, "Leave me alone, kid." And I was like 6 or 7 at the time, so that was a little bit disheartening. I guess one of the athletes that I had a good, I guess, situation with was Will Clark. When he played with the Giants, I lived out in the San Francisco area, and I would write him like probably at least once a week with a card with my new favorite card of his and mail it off to his house. They used to sell this book. It was the Almanac of Baseball addresses. It was like a phone book that you could look up your favorite player and it would actually tell you their address. And this is before the internet, way before the internet. So I would just sit there for hours and just all my favorite baseball players, take their cards, put them in, write a little letter, ask them, you know, obviously put a self-addressed stamped envelope in there so they don't have to spend their money or anything. That's the gamble. But yeah, I would do that. I got stuff back from Brett Butler, Kevin Mitchell, Matt Williams, Will Clark. I would send him one every week. It was kind of like a weekly thing. I would sit down and send out ones to new baseball players that I wanted their autograph, like Fred McGriff or, you know, Roberto Alomar, Ozzie Smith. You know, I would just choose like a new group. But every week I would always send one out to Will Clark, and I never got him back. So I just figured, you know, he's too busy. Well, anyway, this one day I got home from school, and my mom was just smiling from ear to ear. And she led me into the kitchen, and there was a stack, like I'm talking probably a foot tall, of every letter I ever sent Will Clark. And it was wrapped in like some of that, you know, that you tie down stuff on the top of your car. I can't remember what that's called, but line, I guess. They were all strapped together.